So a number of people have been asking us what we intend to be doing to the RV and want us to talk a little bit about the RV. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit down here in a couple of minutes and kind of go over a few things with you.
For the day I break these chains, I'm bound for the life of the simple things.
But first, I thought I'd start off with one of the things that was the biggest thing that I wanted to go ahead and take care of prior to finding out that we're going to have to replace the AC unit here in the front, and then also the radiator that's currently leaking, as you can see with this puddle underneath the RV here. It's getting a little bit worse, but it's still not terrible yet. So in here we do have a charge controller, but that charge controller there is kind of on the older side. Plus I really want to have an inverter, and this RV doesn't have an inverter, and it's wired for 30 amp instead of 50. Since this is wired for only 30 amp right now, there's no leg going into the rear AC to be able to power the AC in the bedroom when it's plugged into shore power. So one of the number one things I'd like to do there is, I think I want to wire it up to 50 amp and then put a leg in that'll allow the rear AC to be run off of shore power. And that's kind of a big priority to me. Then in addition, that charge controller here, I'd like to replace it with a double part system where we have the charge controller and then also an inverter. I'm thinking 2000 watts right now is a good amount to be able to run things in pretty much most anything that we're going to want to try to run off the batteries, and at the same time I don't have to worry about it if I'm running the microwave and we got the TV on and a couple of appliances charging or something like that, if I go 2000 watt. But I don't really want to go any larger than 2000 watt, simply because of the fact that when you do that, you start sucking power. Pretty much you eat up a lot more power. So along with going ahead and adding in the new inverter and the charge control, I really want to do solar. I was thinking something like a 600 watt solar system. I think that would meet most of our needs. It would probably keep us from having to run the generator most of the time, or at least when we're in sunny areas. And when you're up north, you're probably going to be stuck running the generator some of the time anyways. And that bay that I just showed you here is got plenty of room. I should be able to add some battery power in there to, you know, store some more power off that solar. I was thinking to get a couple of 300 watt panels should fit up there on the roof. We had already been talking about taking these TVs out that are like ancient and going ahead and replacing those TVs with, well, this TV right here, we were thinking about replacing it with one of those electric fireplaces. We thought that would be pretty cool to have a little ambiance in here and even have it be able to produce a little bit of heat for us when it's not too awful cold. This is the other TV that we were thinking about getting rid of, and Catalina thought that we should be able to maybe set up a mounting system here that would allow a 32-inch in here to be watching from the bed. She was really into that. She likes to catch a movie or two before we go to bed. And then neither Catalina or I really like this carpeting in here, and it's aged. But we were thinking, instead of just replacing the carpet with more carpet, that we would go ahead and do a thing where we were planning on replacing it with some kind of laminate, higher end laminate, not some of the cheaper ones. Probably, you know, the ones that align with a wood look. But it would need to be something that matches these 1990 cabinets here. I'm not a huge fan of the wood color, but I don't know that I want to go and take all the time and effort and money to change the look at them at this point. This is probably going to be like a 3-year RV for us, maybe a little less if we do pretty good on some of the web related stuff that I've been starting into. and we got some word on some more work camping type stuff that should be a more steady income for us, and where we could slowly travel around instead of shooting across to places. So that's in the works as well. I thought I would say a couple words on what we like the best about the RV here over having the GMC, the classic GMC motorhome that we had. It just seems to be way easier to heat, and the temperature stays more stable, both heat and cold. It takes longer for it to heat up in here than the GMC did, you know, a lot of that because of the giant windows, and then also, you know, it being basically a metal tube, which was awesome as far as not having any chance of the body being damaged by water or anything like that. But the negative side of that is it would heat up really easy. I've been wondering, and I thought about doing it before we got rid of the GMC. I've been wondering if people would like to have us discuss, you know, the good, bad, and the ugly about the GMC motorhome. See if there's a lot of people still watching the channel here that have an interest in the GMC. I thought I could do a series of videos about the truth about the GMC motorhome and discuss its highlights and obviously its negatives as well, and whether it fits people's interests out there. Can you please let me know down here in the comments section at the bottom whether you would like us to make that kind of a series of videos. In addition, just before I go to edit this, I'm sitting down to go ahead and edit the video for you guys and put it up, but I've been a little confused on the best route to go with the radiator. Some people are telling me they can be repaired and record. I know that the copper one's going to be record, but I'm not sure that the radiator in here is copper, and I even scratched off some of the paint and it still looks aluminum to me. Some people told me that aluminum radiators can be fixed, and others have told me that it just costs too much to have them fixed. You might as well buy a new one. If there's anybody out there that happens to work in a radiator shop, or you know, you've been around RVs for like ever, we intend to probably only keep this RV around 3 years, and so I'm wondering what the best route for us really would be to go. And so I want you guys all to give us your opinions on it. First of all, should we just see if we can repair it and do it that way, or should we go and check out salvage yards to see about whether we can find a radiator that's used? I've heard some rumors that you're kind of gambling when you're doing that because you don't know if it's really going to work all right, but at least once you buy it at the salvage yard, before you spend all the time and money to put it back in, you can have it tested at a radiator shop before they go to put it in. So I guess that can alleviate the labor issue on it, but my understanding is if you buy it at a salvage yard, even if it leaks, you can't return it. Let me know if you think that's true as well. And then, you know, there's some folks saying that really 10 years is how long a new radiator, you know, should last, even these newer ones that are out there. And we don't have any need for it to last 10 years for us, so we shouldn't put it in a new one. And then obviously the other side of that is people are saying if you put it in a new one, you're just not going to have problems the whole time that you have it. Shouldn't, you know. And I'm hoping that maybe if I present that to you all, you guys can help clarify some things, go in a little more detail for us and stuff like that. I would like to know if any of you guys out there that are viewers would like us to go and kind of give our background story before we started doing RV and life and stuff, and what kind of brought us to being interested in doing that. Get out there, connect with people, live your big story.
Make sure you do something every single day to reduce world suck.
Peace, guys.
Peace and love.
Without you, my friend, and I tell you all about it when I see you again. We come a long way from where we began. Oh, tell you all